Sedona, Arizona, the destination of our first extended trip with both Granger and Walker, and with Mike working the whole week while on the road. But first, we have to get there. After 2 days of driving and an overnight in a casino parking lot in New Mexico, we made it to camp. After our quick breakfast and Walker's morning stretches, it's time for Mike to get to work. One of the most common questions we get is, what do you do for internet while working on the road?
We have Google Fi service, so we typically hotspot from our phones, which allows us to do all the work that we need to do. The one thing we do need to be aware of is we do max out at, I think it's 22 gigabytes before we get throttled back to speeds that are so low that you can't really do work. So we just kind of monitor our data usage. The other thing is we got to make sure we park in areas that has good enough cell coverage for us to actually work. So right now we're parked outside of Sedona and have 5G service. I've been getting anywhere from 15 to 30 megabytes per second, which is awesome and way more than we actually need to be on video conferences. Another thing we are looking at maybe upgrading is getting a WeBoost cell booster in order to be a little bit further away from towns and still get good enough service for hotspotting from our phones. And then also some additional data plans, that way we don't have to worry about running out of data after we hit 22 gigs.
The workstation setup is also pretty important.
So in order for me to work pretty effectively while in the Scout, I really needed a second monitor because a lot of stuff I do is looking at multiple spreadsheets or slide decks and stuff like that. So I found this portable external monitor that's powered off of a USB-C connection. So it just plugs right into my computer and that provides the power and the display. And it's been working out pretty well. I also built this wooden base just to hold it up at the right angle for me, and it's worked out pretty great for this trip. The other things are, I bring my desk keyboard and mouse, so that way I have the exact same setup as I have at my desk, and that helps, me not having to type on the little keyboard or whatnot. The other thing that is very helpful when living in a small space with a cat, a dog, and a wife is some noise canceling headphones. So these are very useful when I'm trying to get work done and there's a lot going on. This helps me kind of stay focused on what I'm working on. And then just to kind of get this set up a little bit more ergonomic, I'm using these bins that we have to store other things while we're in the Scout driving around. I pull them out every day and set them up so I have kind of a little bit more ergonomical setup.
And as for me, I recently left my job due to some ongoing health issues with long COVID. Overwhelming fatigue, shortness of breath, and so on made it impossible for me to keep up with work. So now, whether we're at home or on the road, I typically fill my time with rest, Netflix, reading, hanging with the animals, and photography and video projects. It also makes things a lot easier for us to be on the road with only one work schedule to worry about. When Mike wasn't busy with work, we went out and about to explore the area. Unfortunately, because of my health stuff, we're a bit limited in what we can do. Hiking and anything overly active is out of the question for now, so we decided to drive this trail, which is probably mostly frequented by recreational vehicles like ATVs and dirt bikes.
How is it so bad?
It got pretty narrow in some spots. It was fun though, and it gave us a sense of the area and brought us to new views beyond our campsite. Sunset is a marker of time for us. We always plan our evenings around it. Usually, we take sunset photos and enjoy the close of the day before we move into dinner and nighttime mode. Walker officially decided the rooftop tent is his, and that he will do anything to defend his domain, even maim his own human. Luckily, Mike is a pro at Band-Aid application. After 6 days at our campsite outside Sedona, it was time to hit the road again. We had one other big stop planned for this trip before making our way back home. With wintry weather rolling in, sunrise at the Grand Canyon was windy and cold. But it was worth it. We didn't stay too long at the Grand Canyon, because, as they say, winter was coming. Walker and Granger bunkered down and we made our way home to Colorado. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like it and subscribe to our channel.